Here is the presentation on detoxifying your healing home. This will come in different stages and during the healing process, and each of us are so different on our body's ability to detoxify. And I've given some general information, but this is where things get to be very complex, and it will be better to work on things on a more individual basis to get down to the nitty-gritty of this. The first thing though, and I wished when I started on this journey that I would have realized that I had a hard time detoxing and trying to figure out why and better ways of helping my body to do it than I did. This kept me very toxic for a long time, and it continued to deteriorate my health. So my hope for you is that you will find your way through this so that your healing process will take place sooner than I did. This is a very big part. So we first of all have to admit and accept that our body is not detoxing well. I don't feel that my body detoxed from pretty much a very young age. I think that it was my body's ability to detox was affected very, very early in my life. You have to become aware of the signs, the signals that your body is giving you that your body is not detoxing. I did not do a very good job of that either. From a very young age, I had severe constipation. That's taboo. People don't like to talk about that. And by the time it became a problem, I was at least potty trained, and so I lived with it, and it just became, I just accepted it for a long period of time and did not know that this was a huge clue that my body was holding on to toxins. Yeah, yeah, I know that's crazy, but anyway. And so through my healing process, I have realized that, okay, when you get your body to your body's motility, to work right, then you will know, you will have a clue that your body is detoxifying. Another big one for me was, well, not being able to sleep well, and also waking up in the morning and feeling so heavy, like it was just hard to get out of the bed, along with the fatigue and all with the fibromyalgia and all of that. But your body's ability to not detoxify will make you feel very heavy. So are some of the two clues. Next, this book right here was so revolutionary to me when I read it. I found out so much from this man. Dr. Neil Nathan is the bomb. I love this man. And this book is written, I mean, it does get sort of um, complicated, but he does a really good job. He tries as hard as he can to make it as simple as he can. I even put the link right here. This is a great resource. I would have probably still be suffering. I only found out about my mast cell activation, and it was like the last piece that I put together, which I wish would have been one of the first ones. So this is another reason why I'm trying to help you. So if this is a problem with you, you've got to take care of this or you will continue to feel like crap. And we'll talk more about that later, but he discusses that in this book, and it was transformational in my ability to heal. So I totally recommend that as a great resource in your healing. A lot of what I am saying in here, I do get from him. I sort of think about this, I had the rebuild, like the foundation of building your healing home, like is calming your nervous system to get yourself to a place that you can be, your body feels safe. But another part of that, a big part of that, is the detoxification. And I sort of think about that as like the first part of remodeling, like when you have to like demolition and you have to take everything out. I sort of think of it like it's like the first part of remodeling is detoxification and taking all of the gross stuff and all of the old stuff that you don't want anymore, and you're just taking it all out. And this is what detoxification, and this will be, you'll have to go in little parts of this, especially the more toxic your body is. If you catch things pretty quickly, and if your body has not just totally filled with toxins, it'll be easier for you to go with this. But this is where your with the toxicity levels that you can cause sensitivities, and then when that starts to happen, you have to be very careful on ways that you detoxify, because you can do more harm than good. And this is where paying attention and being aware of how your body is responding is so important. So we're going to talk a little bit about why you are toxic in the first place. Then I am going to talk about some tips to make detoxification more successful, and then my ways that I have learned to detoxify more successfully, especially when you are really, really sensitive to products and to strategies for detoxifying. Yeah, so our toxic burden, and I have been studying this for a very long time, and I do believe that it is the root of at least chronic illnesses, is your toxic burden is so high. And this is at a cellular level. Your cells, your building blocks of your body have become toxic. They're freaking out. They don't know what to do. They are stuck. And when this happens, this causes a whole reaction of all of these systems in your body, and you have to get the cells to a healthier place where they can start to work properly. And this is so complicated, and yeah, you're going to need a lot of members on your team to help you figure this out. First of all, there are many ecogenetic diseases. This is where your environment and your genetics all work together to create a place where your body is toxic. And mold toxicity is an environmental illness. It is caused by a environmental toxin, which is a poison, a biological living poison in your body. And there is also a genetic part of that too. With mold, I have found out that 25% of the population has a genetic mutation, which does not allow us to detoxify mycotoxins within the body. So they just build up. For 75% of the population, even though mold can cause issues even for them, at least their bodies have a more efficient way of detoxifying. Because if you are not using the detoxification system of your body, then you have to use your organs more, like your liver and all of that. And then once you can't detoxify, as the 25% of the population who doesn't have the genetic makeup to do that, then your organs and all start clogging up with all of that toxicity too. So then you get multi-symptom, multi-systemic reactions to all of this. And so we have to start healing at the cellular level. This is where, and I learned about the cell danger response from Dr. Nathan as well, and it makes perfect sense for all different kinds of illnesses, even COVID, as to the reason why people have had so much problems with things. And when your cells are recognizing toxins or viruses or whatever as dangerous in the body, and your cells are trying to figure out ways to deal with this, they can't figure it out, so then it starts an inflammatory response to try to kill it, and then that doesn't work, and then you just are on a downward spiral from there. That is what causes the inflammation in your body. And then the inflammation then causes an effect on your immune system. And when your immune system gets all messed up, then a big thing for me, like I've mentioned before, is where the mast cell activation becomes more of an issue, because your mast cells are your first response of an immune system response, right? So this is where I'm like, and then people with issues can't digest, they don't have the enzyme to digest the histamines, and their cytokines and all of those are released by your mast cells. And then once that response starts, and that's where you get all of your allergic reactions. I wished I would have had a rash when I had mine. It would have helped me out a lot, but I didn't. But it affected me. Gastrointestinal issues were even more emotional kinds of responses. I had the bladder issues, or I wanted to use the bathroom more, and it totally would shut down my motility. So that's when I know that my mast cells are started up. First of all, you get the diarrhea, and then the second thing, that it stops. I mean, you just like get constipated. So yeah, big, huge part of all of this. And so the cell danger response and your ability to detoxify are very, very related to each other. So we have to find ways to slosh off all of those mycotoxins from the cells, to clean all of that stuff off, so to give your cells a chance to start to heal and start to replicate good, healthy cells instead of the cells that are just filled with toxic material. Very important in all of this. And it is very complicated. I did give a video where Dr. Nathan talks about this. I hope that you will watch it. It is sort of long, but this is complicated stuff, but it is a very integral key in our ability to heal ourselves, I do believe. So, tips for successful detoxification. Being under a good doctor's care. Functional doctor, probably, because conventional doctors have still, unfortunately, really no clue about what's going on. I really do. That is so unfortunate, and I wished it were not the case. But even my functional doctor didn't catch my mast cell thing. But and I'll talk more about what you can do for that. And if you want to talk with me about that, just please message me. But you need to find, and I will be glad to help you find a doctor who can help you with this, because being able to detoxify and having good ways, first of all, you got to know what you're dealing with. So if you're dealing with mold toxicity, you need your test done to see where all of your issues lie. What types of molds what types of mycotoxins are in your body. So, and like inflammation markers, things such as that, so that you'll know where you need to start. So you've got to start with the testing and things like that, so that you'll know. you've got to find someone who is qualified to help you with that. Secondly, when you are detoxifying, you've got to be aware of how your body is responding to your detox products and your strategies. Like I said before, I did not have a clue, and I really messed myself up with trying to because it made me worse because it would stop everything. So the big thing, the most important thing is when you're finding strategies, go very, very low and very, very slow, because you can get herxing kinds of responses where your body is detoxing too fast, and then it'll send your body, and you'll think that, oh my gosh, I can't do this because I'm reacting to it bad. But sometimes it's just you're detoxifying too fast, and then that sends your body into just a downward spiral, which is not good either. So you've got to find ways to detoxify going low and slow, and finding products and ways to help you that are good for you, because we're all different and we all have ways of detoxifying that are good and ways that may not be so good. So you've got to pay attention. Okay, so these are ways that I have found the most successful for me to detoxify. First of all, I say, oh, start as soon as you can working with your lymphatic system to try to get some kind of drainage taking place. There are supplements and things like that. I have had a hard time with supplements, so I've tried to stay away from them. But you might be okay. But drainage of your organs and all is important, and people will say that you don't even need to detox until you've started. Your body has the ability to drain, and this is where I implemented lymphatic massage. I did the big 6 points or whatever, and I will be sharing that with you as well. Dry brushing was a good thing for me because it was more natural and I didn't react to it. That you can react to anything, but and this was very therapeutic with me, and so I will share how I do that as well. And the more natural ways to detoxify, of course, like I said in the beginning, clean air. Breathing clean air is going to help you to detoxify. Clean water and drinking a lot of good, clean water is going to help you detoxify, and lots of water. Good food, but you have to be aware of your foods, especially if you're dealing with mast cell issues, because even supposedly good foods can cause, and if you're dealing with gastrointestinal issues and IBS, and I will talk more specifically about things to look out for in later presentations, but you have to pay attention to how you're reacting to foods, because that can set you back when you don't know. And I'm talking about, yes, even the foods that are supposed to be quote unquote healthy for you. It's such an individual thing, and you've got to figure out what foods might be causing you to react. Um, Products that we're using, smells, all of these things can, you've got to be able to see when your body is reacting to those. Getting outside whenever you can, exercising, moving around. And I know, like in the wintertime, it's hard to do this, but and some of us even react to heat. So this might be sort of challenging, and you might have to take it slow. But sweating is such a great natural way to detoxify. I know when I first found out, this was just when I first found out about mold toxicity, and I got my van that I stayed out in to help me to detoxify. And it was in the middle of the summer, and I was working outside, and it's the first time I have ever sweat in my life. And it felt so good. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you can tolerate it. Some of us can't. I also got a infrared sauna, a blanket. to help with some sweating and detoxifying. I've had to be careful with that, because if I do it too much for too long, then I start to react and it doesn't make me feel well. So, but that is another way that you can work with detoxification. Castor oil packs, and like I've even put like oregano oils and things like that on castor oil packs, and I'll send more information about those as well. It's sort of subtle. I don't know if it does any good. Everybody just swears by it, but I did it. And I usually would do it like before I get into the sauna or anything else that I'm going to do, to just sort of help the liver out, and because I do the castor oil packs on my liver. I don't know. Epsom salt baths and soaks. Epsom salt is a good detoxifier. Some people have a reaction to even Epsom salts, and yeah, so you have to be patient. You have to sort of pay attention to that kind of thing as well. I have put castor oil in Epsom salt um, baths and soaks too, well, not really baths, but soaks and all, to help to detoxify. Good sleep is a good way to detoxify, but if you are toxic, you're probably not going to get good sleep. So there lies the inherent problem with that. So if two ways that I have figured out that I am healthy. First of all, I can go to the bathroom and have good poops every day, and also that I am getting good quality sleep. That is how big ways that I have gauged my health. And it's sort of sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. So to me, that's two ways that I'm really gauging these things, but everybody is different. Yes, so binders to bind the mycotoxins or the toxins that are in your body. These are going to be different based on the types of mycotoxins or toxins that you have. And this is why having a knowledgeable doctor who's done the testing on you, first of all, so that you'll know what binders are best for you. And we can talk about that on a more specific level, but because we are all so different, I would not even dare to even say anything about any more specific than that until you know what you are dealing with, and your doctor has specified what would work. The only thing that I can say is that whatever supplements you use and whatever products you use to bind the mycotoxins to get them out of your body, you gotta go low and you gotta go slow, because you don't know how your body is going to respond. And in order to keep your body from reacting and setting you back, so that you're even more toxic, you've got to go low and you've got to go slow. So detoxing the body from your toxic burden is an important part of healing. Remodeling, demolition of all the bad stuff in your house. You got to get rid of it. And healing at the cellular level to stop the inflammatory response and to stop your immune system from reacting. That is so important, being able to detoxify and to clean off your cells. Your cells have to have what they need to heal, and with mycotoxins and all the toxic burden that are in your cells and on your cell receptors, it's not going to happen. So we've given you some tips for a successful detox. You got to go low, you got to go slow, and just try to find ways that are going to work for you. You need a good doctor. I will help you to find someone if you need me to. But yeah, main important thing with this, with whatever you try, whatever supplements, you got to go low and you got to go slow and find out what you are reacting to. Awareness and paying attention are key. And this concludes my presentation on detoxifying your body, remodeling the first part, which is demolition of all the bad stuff. And we'll be back with another video soon.